How many seconds to live?
You can go now.
Good evening, TC.
Good evening, Gabby.
And welcome all to Terry Currans Football Podcast. Did you like that intro music? And what a way to get going, see? We're live now. I'm not in my bedroom, I'm in the studio, and we can see all of us. Chris is in the middle.
Well, them two out tonight, so I'm sat in the room.
Fantastic. And I can't even see any football, TC. What kind of week you had, mate? You okay?
Yes.
Yeah, good man, good lad. Always we start with the magic moment. So what have you sourced for us, T? There's been some fantastic magic moments
we
this
missed
week.
the week because obviously we haven't been not too well.
Yeah.
But I've gone with a goal last night, which was the Leeds United goal, Perrault. Joel Perrault. That was an unstoppable shot.
Yeah.
But as usual, we've seen that many great goals over this period again. You know, trying to pick one out, it becomes difficult and difficult, or harder and harder.
I mean, that was some strike, wasn't it? And it was. And it was some result as well.
Two goalkeepers are not going to stop that.
No, I don't think. No matter who you had in goal, you could
and
have.
I love that. I love the one what you put up on the Curran view.
The Paris Saint-Germain.
Jagover.
The Paris Saint-Germain one.
Yeah, it was it. The Jagover anyway.
Oh, that was Miles Leeburn, wasn't it? His goal for Charlton against Exeter.
Charlton, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, when he's took and he's dragged it over. He's done it a couple of times and he's just put it in the bag. And I thought, that is just beauty, isn't it? It's what we go to pay to watch football for magic moments like that.
100%. But then you get the other half, and I get it. You get the other half will turn around and say, where were they defending? So either way, they can't win, can they?
But when someone's running,
I mean, you want to go see something like that.
Of course you do. It gets you off your seat. When you see when you see a player rolling his studs over it and doing that drag back, and it's so difficult for the defender to defend because they don't want to get in there and get too close because they might give a penalty away.
Yes.
So I just thought it was great skill in a tight space. So well done, Miles Leeburn. And I thought that was the magic moment of the weekend that I saw. But I don't know if you saw the assist from Ramos for Paris Saint-Germain against Lyon. It was an assist. Oh, my God. I looked at that too and I thought, that is just orgasmic.
It's unbelievable. It takes your breath away looking at it.
Yeah.
But I have still not seen one as good as the Ronaldinho one for Barcelona. When he's played it right across from the left-hand side and the kid scored from it. Unbelievable. But again, and even in that game, what I watched last night, Sheffield United game, the keeper pulls off, the United keeper pulls off a great save. But, those passes like that are just, it kills the team altogether because it's putting 3, 4, 5. It can put 3, 4, 5 people out of the game, can't you? Know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And it's just, you cannot stop it. The ball he's hit, it was just unstoppable.
Phenomenal.
Or the pass, I want to say.
I mean, that goal for Paris Saint-Germain, it did have shades of Brazil 1970 when Roberto Carlos then just bagged it. It was a little bit closer, but Hakim come in and struck a tremendous shot into the corner of Lyon's goal. Great away with Paris Saint-Germain. I'm liking Paris Saint-Germain, because my favourite player, Kvaratskhelia, plays for them, and so I will be watching them next week, next Wednesday, when they take on Liverpool. I think
what a game that's going to be.
I think too that's going to be Liverpool's most difficult game for the rest of the season. I really like Paris.
I said that to Tom. I find it's incredible that a manager can come in. Now, I don't know enough of him. It may be an elite manager, or may go on to be one of the best managers out there.
Yeah.
But to come in and do what he's done this year, and produce the football they played at time. I mean, that time at times their football's been breathtaking.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
Mo Salah has been a revelation again.
Yeah.
It's like give him a lift.
Is that his haircut?
Now I don't know whether him and Klopp had just started to not fall out. Klopp's looking at the scenario. What is he, 33, 34?
He's got to be about that, ain't he, Salah?
Klopp looking at, made him look, him thinking, well, I don't want to give you that length of contract. I don't want to give you a contract because of your age. And that, sold him off a little bit, but he's had an absolutely unbelievable season again.
I think he's one of the greats.
When you look at him and De Bruyne, and I get, when you look at it, Chelsea were an unbelievable team back then. But how Mourinho could let them two go, it just baffles me.
It is unbelievable. Because they've come back. I mean, when you say players come back to haunt a club, I mean, they've both come back and haunted Chelsea. Because they have both been, in modern times, two of the greatest players to play in the Premier League. I think they've just been fantastic. I think the years haven't been as kind to De Bruyne, but because of his injuries, he's had one or two injuries, and I think it's caught up with him.
This is only his last season, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I would say so, without a doubt. But you could see Salah, the way Salah's playing, to go on for at least another 2 seasons for Liverpool, because he just looks fitter than he's ever looked before. He just looks absolutely on fire, and Liverpool look unstoppable. So I think next Wednesday in Paris, it's going to be a fantastic game.
When you hear people turn around and say, when you're playing with a smile, and he looks as though he's so happy that there. Like I said, I don't want to knock Klopp, but it's as though this manager's given him a new lease of life.
Yeah, he's took him on to another level. I just think Liverpool have been fantastic to watch. I watched,
and it's going to be a great game. That's going to be one hell of a game.
I think it's going to be an absolute classic game, and I think the winner of that could go on and win the tournament.
Where's the first leg at?
Paris. Paris. Paris Saint-Germain are my dark horse for the Champions League. I've watched them recently, again, and it's only because Kvaratskhelia plays for them. But some of the play, some of the goals, it is like watching Brazil in the 70s. I think they've been absolutely fantastic. It's been the best football that I've seen for years and years.
When you get a team playing, like when City were doing it, or when Liverpool were at their really best, Man United at their Barcelona at their best. When you see the football, free-flowing football play, it's such a joy to watch. Yeah,
to use your phrase, with aplomb. And that's how they've played, both of them. I'll tell you who played with aplomb last night, Adam Wharton. I couldn't watch Birmingham's game against Orient. I think it's because it was a rearranged game and it wasn't on Sky. Because if you go on the red button, you can watch all the games. Birmingham wasn't on the red button last night. So I watched Villa away at Palace. Adam Wharton, I think, is a tremendous player anyhow. I watched him last night. He was unbelievable. Thomas Tuchel was there watching the game. And if I'm Thomas Tuchel, I've actually penned him. I haven't penciled him in. I've penned him into my England team. He's a magician.
You're going to have 60 players in that squad.
I know.
Chris?
And I can't play all of them, but Wharton, what a player. Fantastic.
That's how difficult it is at times.
Yeah, it is. But how does Southgate not pick them all?
The manager's job is to balance the team up.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Who is...
Just before Tom left tonight, you know what he said to me?
Go on.
He said, Dad, I think Ipswich will beat Man United. Ipswich winning 1-0.
Yeah. I mean, how long's he got left?
Hang on a bit.
Don't know. It is daft. But how long's he got left?
I'm going to agree with you here. Because I'm not wanting to, like I said, I'm not one for sacking managers for sacking them.
Same here, too.
You've got to give them time.
100%.
But they do look absolutely shocking.
Yeah, they do.
They looks, to say it's a Premier League team, or the biggest club in the country.
Yeah.
And he come with a reputation. They just look so disjointed. But if we're going to knock him, how can you get someone like Jim Ratcliffe, what's done so well in his life, comes into football and completely, right?
Yeah.
Made a mess of Manchester United.
Yeah.
They look so disjointed. It's untrue.
The club is in complete disarray. I mean, you look at Rashford now, he's gone to Aston Villa. He's actually running for the ball. He's actually playing with a smile on his face. And he's not the only Manchester United player that's left there and has kicked on his career. There just seems to be something wrong at United.
That Tony what's gone to Real Betis.
Yeah,
Looks a different player.
Yeah, the other, what's his name?
Tony, isn't it?
No, it ain't Tony. What's his name? The Brazilian boy. His name will come to me.
Pele.
You asked for that.
It's the boy that keeps doing all the lollipops and stuff and what have you. His name will come in a bit. It ain't Tommy, is it? It's
Brian?
No, it's not Brian. No,
he's gone to Real Betis.
Yeah, he's gone to Betis. Didn't he get sent off the weekend? Because he was having a real good start. He's having a real good time. His name will come. It just escapes me. Get his name up on your phone, on your Google.
I'm sure it's Tony.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. It's on the tip of my tongue. TC, what we always do is we look at Terry Curran's view of various topics this week. There's a number of them that I want to talk to you about. The first one is the Future Fit programme for the FA. I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but I'd like your opinions. We are at SRB Media now. We are sponsoring 3C's Under 8s, my grandkids' team. So we've got our SRB Media podcast on the shirt. We don't sponsor the shirts, but we do actually sponsor the team. So we're putting a few quid into it, and I'm getting such joy, not just from our boys, but watching all the other boys. But I did look at the Future Fit programme, and I looked at two issues. They want teams to play 3 versus 3 and not to play under 11 aside till under 14s. What's your take on the Future Fit programme and the FA?
Well, first and foremost, they should let kids go and play football.
Yeah.
And never really coach them until they're 14.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. And it doesn't mean that I'm right. It doesn't mean that I'm wrong. You see, because at the end of the day, all they want to do is go on that football field with their mates, right, and try and beat everyone.
Yeah.
Their little brains will work out when and where to dribble with it, when and where to pass.
Yeah.
And then they're fetching all the rules in for kids at 5 and 6 years of age. Now, you know as well as I do, sometimes that exceptionally kid comes onto a football pitch, you think, wow. I remember seeing Greenwood. I think he's a year younger than Jock. Is he younger than Jock or a year older than Jock? I think he's younger than Jock. And I remember there was a breaking play, turned around and I went, wow, what a player he is.
Yeah.
Now, you'll always get that. But the kids, for me, just let them go and express themselves.
Yep.
You know, and then once they get to 14, then you can start putting them in a position and say, right, do this or try this or try this. You know, not only have they got to try something, what's the gaining reactions through their own natural football brain itself. Because I guarantee you, I mean, I always found it that your brain's telling you one thing to do, and you still want to listen to the manager. And if it doesn't come off that you've had to react to something and not the one what the managers wanted you to do, then you get a rollicking for it.
Yeah.
You know, and that happens to them, kids and all, you know. There's always, they don't listen. It's nothing to do with they're not listening. What they're doing is trying to work things out.
Yeah.
Because take the coaches off the pitch. Like you when we were kids, you put your jumpers down on the field. Yeah. You set up 2 goals.
Yep.
And then you just go and play.
Yeah.
And you're working things out. Now we've lost that. And I think we've lost the way for our kids to learn certain skills, what will come natural to them, and not something different what they're being taught. That's my reaction to it. Now, every time they keep fetching the rule in from the FA, you know, 3 against 3, 4 against 4, 5 against 5, not playing until the 11. Well, what difference does it make? Because when I was a kid, when I was a kid, and I know look, I'm not one for standing still. I want to look at different things and look at different ways of playing the game. But when I was a kid, I was playing 3 and 4 teams above my level.
Yep. Mm.
Now, that definitely brought me on a lot quicker than it brought other kids on.
Yeah.
Now, was it because I found it natural to be able to do that, where it held them back a little bit?
Mm.
But if I wouldn't have been able to go and play with the senior players or my older players, right, I may not have learned as quick football. You know, I think you should let kids just go and play. I really do.
And also as well, where's the kid going to learn and hone his skills more? 3 versus 3 on a pitch on a Sunday morning. Currently, they're playing 5-a-side at under 8s, and I think we've got another couple of years. Then we go up to under 9s, then up to under 11s. But you know, when you'd put jumpers down for goalposts, and you'd have probably 20 aside, and some of the old boys and that would be playing as well. Surely, or certainly when we played, I always felt that I would improve as a player playing 20 aside than 3 versus 3.
Do you still think in you know, like these African countries?
Yeah.
Them little lads are playing with no shoes on, no football boots on,
100%.
bare feet.
Yeah. 20 versus 20.
The pictures are absolutely shocking.
Yeah. Honing their skills.
15 against 15.
Absolutely.
People say to me,
yeah,
what's the best coaching you'll ever get? And for me, when you're a kid, the best coaching you're ever going to get is a wall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is a wall.
Mm.
Because what that wall gives you is the reaction for you to adjust as a kid.
Yeah.
Right? Not only that, you're using left foot, right foot.
Mm.
Whereas on a pitch, you're using your strength of your one foot. Whereas on the wall, you're not bothered if you make a mistake. Mm. But the ball's coming back at a quick reaction for you.
Yeah.
So I would always say to a young kid, if they said to me, Mr. Curran or Terry, you know, what advice would you give me? Go and get the ball and bang it against the wall.
Yeah.
Because you've got to get in line with the ball to take the weight off it. Your touch will improve tenfold.
Yep.
Right? And your left foot or your right foot, whatever foot you are, your other foot will improve tenfold.
Yeah.
And when you go into a game and you're a 2-footed player, your advantage will be unbelievable.
Yeah.
That you're not finding yourself, well, I've got to get onto my right foot, I've got to get onto my left foot to hit a perfect ball or to hit a right ball in. Mm. So for me, let the kids play.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it. But at the end of the day, if I was a manager of a football club, all my youth development would be just leave them until they're 14. Mm. Right?
Going in,
have the coaches.
Yeah.
Have the coaches and say, right, just just leave them, let them play, let them work it out themselves. And I'll tell you what, you'll find out that the talented kids will develop a lot quicker that way.
Yeah. I mean, Alan Hudson, I mean, I do the regular podcast with Hoodie, My Life, My Music. We've covered all of Alan's career in Hood at 50, and we've done many other podcasts. And Alan always talks about when he was a kid playing in the cage, you know, at home in the streets of Chelsea, you know, and again honed his craft and skills in the cage. Eddie Gray talked to me about playing on the cinder, like shale roads and stuff in the back streets of Glasgow. You know, back then when we used to play in those arenas, if you like, or on them surfaces, we seem to produce so many talented players that it almost looks as though our game now, we're overcoaching players. Yeah.
When we played back then as kids, as 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, we were playing against 12 against 12, 13 against 13.
Absolutely, 100%.
You know, so there was no room on a football field.
Yep.
There's no room whatsoever. So you've got to have the ability to be able to adjust.
Yep.
To either passing the ball, to find the ball.
Yep. And find space as well too in crowded areas.
And and not to be bogged down in a crowded area.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's what's caused a lot of the kids, one apiece Man United, that's caused the kids, half of them are frightened to death to make a mistake.
Yeah. Let them be kids.
I take that back. It's not to make a mistake, to let anybody down, to let the parents down, to let the coach down.
Yeah.
Just go out and enjoy it. That's what I'd like to say to them.
And also as well, there's lots of kids now, I guess, from under 7s, under 8s, going into professional academies. What would your advice be to those kids? My advice, being a former manager and seeing the kids come out at the age of 13 and 14 and trying to build them back up when they've been sold the dream and almost been destroyed, is don't bother. I'd like to see all the teams come around and look at the kids in various football clubs and encourage them.
It's got its good points and its bad points.
What age
it's good points,
you
it's
suggest
good points. The parents are not on side there telling them what to do or not what to do.
Yeah.
It's bad points when they get to the age where they get not getting signed on. It's a killer for them. It's a killer. You got to feel for them because regardless whether the manager don't like that kid or whatever, it's still a difficult decision to do.
Yeah.
So I would say yes, get the kids in because it gives them just being allowed to play, but they're not allowed to play. Get them in, show them allowed to play until they're 14. Let them develop the natural ability, and give them little things when they, like you would at school. Give them homework. Give them a little couple of things to try.
Yeah.
And improve on while they're at home. That type of thing. But
homework.
For me, it like I say, it's got its good points and it's got its bad point. The bad point, the downside of it, is they spent all that time there, and they may have gone to another club, and that club may have signed them. It's a catch-22 Gabs.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. On the one hand, yes, and on the other hand, no. Conor Gallagher singing. I don't know if you saw that on the social medias the other day. I don't know whether that was, when they joined the club. I mean, he's been there for some time now, or whether they just had a few drinks. He looked relatively sober. But there he was in Atletico Madrid up there singing a song. I think it was one at Shape of You by Ipswich Town, Ed Sheeran. And to be fair, he could hold a tune. He can hold a ball as well, and I think he's holding court there in Madrid. That has been a great move for Conor Gallagher, hasn't it?
When I was, I don't know if I'm there.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
when I was playing football, John Robertson had a great voice.
Did he really?
Frank Clark had a good voice. Jack Whittam's got a great voice.
Okay.
Have you heard of Jack Whittam?
No, I haven't.
Played with Sheffield Wednesday.
Okay.
Went to Liverpool, £110,000.
Right. What year was that?
£100,000. He's got a great voice. There's a lot of footballers got great voices,
Barry Silky was a singer before he was a footballer.
He's got a good voice. I've heard him,
I'm sure he comes from a singing family.
Yeah, he does, yeah. His mum was a singer. I'm sure it was his mum that was a singer. And Silky was a singer before a footballer.
Is it not Leo Sayer? Is it Leo Sayer? He's related to somebody, him, one of the singers.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
All right.
He is. He's related to. I'm not saying he's Leo Sayer, but he's related. Bowie, not Bowie. Who was the other one? What got killed?
Mark Bolan.
No,
Mark Bolan.
He's related
cousin.
to somebody.
Really?
Oh, right. So Silky's related to Leo Sayer and
No.
Oh, right.
He's related to somebody like that.
Mark Bolan.
He's got the same hair.
He was a cousin. His name's Mark Field, wasn't he? He was born Mark Field.
Right,
And it's Silky's cousin, Mark Bolan.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Is that who he is?
Yeah, Mark Bolan, yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, I remember having a conversation. Because, again, I've done a few podcasts with Silk, and Silk says, it was his cousin.
Wow.
Yeah. But Conor Gallagher, a great move to Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid now been drawn next week against Real Madrid. That's going to be one hell of a tie. I can actually see Atletico knocking out Real. Totally different characters as managers. One's very, very cagey and the other one likes to go for it. But I don't know. I think over the two, I think Atletico might just shade the game. Mm. Who's your shout for the Champions League to lift it, come what matey?
Well, I don't like to be... Look, I think the forward line, what Real Madrid's got.
Yeah, it is great.
It's phenomenal.
I mean, it's as good as it. And
I mean, he looked unbelievable the other night. Yeah, you can go on. Man City have looked shocking for their standard of football. Mm. But Mbappe, looks as though it started to settle in there. It started to look like the player that
he's smiling as well.
Everybody was saying he's the best player in the world.
Mm. I think he is. I mean, he's still, what is he, 23, 24?
I'm agreeing with you. I think he is the best player in the world.
I think he's superb.
But I think they've got a forward line there, second to none.
Yeah. But he's now playing with a smile on his face and he's playing with a swagger, and he's comfortable in that Real Madrid side, so you wouldn't bet against them. But if anybody can turn them over, it is their Madrid rivals at Atletico. So watch this space. The biggest game, though, of the weekend, TC, was El Busico, the number 9 derby. Ailzoin ran out 3-1 winners against their rival Stourbridge. I mean, I think there was about 3,000 there at the Grove watching that game. Yeah. I mean, what?
It's quite fierce, isn't it? I've seen it on YouTube, yeah.
Promise you, that rivalry, Ailzoin versus Stourbridge, is huge. Yeah. It's almost as big as Blues and Villa. Not quite, but again, to them it is, because it's their team, it's their rivals, and it's their derby. Yeah. El Busico. I mean, we've educated you about that, T, haven't we? We've talked about that on the podcast before. El Busico. Ailzoin, non-league, 7th tier, 3,000 fans.
Excellent.
To get that level of football, terrific,
It is.
It is, yeah.
We get 3,500 people at that level of football. It's terrific.
Yeah, crikey, yeah. Some League Two sides would like that.
I tell you, they certainly would. I mean, there's a lot of conference sides that would die for. Solihull Moors, I don't get anywhere near that.
I think Allen get 700-800.
Yeah.
They played Sheffield all the week. I think they got 1,500. Sheffield FC.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So
the oldest team in the world.
Yeah.
That's Sheffield FC.
Yes.
Yeah.
Didn't they have the oldest derby as well a couple of weeks ago?
Well, I'm guessing they would, because they're the oldest team.
Yeah.
Is that what Sheffield and Allen.
The oldest derby in the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
Superb. Book Corner TC, we always look at a few books. I want to give a shout out as well to Sir Bill, written by, we've covered this on a number of occasions, by the great Steve Perryman and Norman Giller the Filler, as Jimmy Greaves used to call him. And Steve Perryman does send his regards to you, Terry. What a great player and what a great manager, Bill Nicholson.
Unbelievable. Absolutely. Don't forget, he was the first one to win the double.
Yeah, he was, 61.
61, 62.
60, 61. Yeah. And then when they won the double, what did he do? He went and brought Jimmy Greaves back home. I mean, what a forward line, and what a team they had, Tottenham.
Yeah, but when they won that, I think they never kicked on, did they?
No, not really.
Which I found strange, because they were a team what played terrific football.
I mean, when
you look at that team, and nobody will tell you better than anyone of that team itself. It was just an unbelievable team, and you thought to yourself, these were going to be the ones. I mean, I could slightly remember them, winning it.
Yeah,
only a bit of a kid. You didn't get the football like it is now, but it was a big thing then. That was the first team to win the double in England.
Absolutely. In fact, Alan's dad used to take him to White Hart Lane to watch the double winning team. White Hart Lane is Alan's favourite ground.
We got someone knows who's from next village up.
Yeah, of course you do.
And we obviously I know all the family. And that were another great point for us, because it was somebody from village, so you wanted that team to do well. But they had that team had got everything, hadn't they? Dave Mackay, Pat Jennings.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
they've had some great players over the years.
Wasn't it Brown? Brown
Mike
was the goalkeeper,
England,
wasn't it?
All, you know.
That was a little bit later than the doubles team, wasn't it?
Still players, great players what played through from them. Alan Gazine.
Yeah.
Later on.
What a player at Gilly. Again,
you know,
through that 60s going on to the 70s. And then, what was it, 1975, I think Tottenham got relegated, didn't they? You know, you're looking at that. I mean, lots of teams have fallen from grace. I think it was the season after Manchester United had got relegated. But in the 70s, it was a little bit different.
Did you know when they got relegated? You know when they got relegated?
Yeah, Blues, Kenny Burns
the
basically did.
Were all saying, what do you expect? Players like Glenn Hoddle in team.
Oh, Tottenham, yeah.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the experts have never recognised what talent looks like. And to be fair, neither have England managers, and England don't recognise quality and talent. But Glenn Hoddle's first game, his debut against Stoke.
Back then, that's who they wanted to blame.
Of course they did, yeah. They've always blamed the so-called luxury players, the maverick kind of players. They've always thought, well, we want workman-like players in our team.
We both like Simon Jordan.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm.
And he turns around and said, Tottenham will never win out with Maddison in team.
Well, I fundamentally disagree. I think Maddison's a great player.
I disagree. But what I'm trying to say is...
I do like Simon Jordan, though, but I think he's wrong.
It's something with this country,
it is,
with people what's got that ability to do something different.
Yeah.
But we don't seem... Now, plenty of great midfield players, and I understand sometimes why Duke go in there. Mm. But if you played him, make no mistake, he might even make him a better team.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But Bill Nicholson, I mean, what can you say about him? He's done everything in the game, every mortal thing.
Man and boy at Tottenham. So a great read, Sir Bill.
Give Steve my regards when you speak to him again. Anyway.
Yep. Will do. 1974, Football in the 70s by Martin Close. Looks to be a great book. I love 70s football books. And 1974, a great year for football, wasn't it?
For Holland.
Yeah, I mean...
Total football.
Oh, phenomenal, wasn't they? Didn't win the World Cup, but the best team in the world in 1974. And the World Cup finals in 74 were great. The FA Cup winners were Liverpool, beat Newcastle 3-0, play now in the League Cup final in 2025. But and you pretty much made your debut, didn't you, in 1974 for Doncaster?
Yeah, 74.
It's in the cup game, wasn't it?
Against, I tell you about Gillingham, my
your league debut.
My league debut. I was on the bench up at Liverpool for the first game, and Kitch played really well that day.
Yeah.
Well, the team did. As you know, raised the game playing Liverpool. Giant killer at the time.
Yeah.
And Kitch has dropped the ball. He's hit the crossbar and gone over. That's Liverpool. That was Liverpool dead. Yeah. Completely dead. They get an equaliser, boom, and then we go back to Bellevue. Terrific. Played on a Wednesday afternoon, Tuesday afternoon. There were a power strike on back then, 74.
Yes.
I can still see all. I can see all the fans. I can still see fans. They climbed up onto the pylons.
Yeah.
Watching the game, 2 or 3 of them got up onto the pylons to watch the game. Everybody in Doncaster, I'll take that back. But thousands of people wanted to go into the game. I think there was about 20,000 people. I think that's what the ground held back then.
And great that Liverpool brought their first team, and that's what they used to do in the 70s.
All did back then.
Of course they did, yeah. Absolutely.
All teams did back then.
They played 42 league games. They played cup games. They played League Cup games. They played European games. They played a lot of games. We're going to move on to playing too many games a little bit later in the podcast. The modern take on it.
Listen, as my old gaffer would turn around and say,
hey,
do you want to play football or do you want to train?
Yeah.
Don't come that with me about being tired.
Yeah.
Great impersonation there.
Super. Terry Curran does a great Brian Clough again.
Oh, was it Brian Clough?
Secondly, a fistful of doldrums, view from the northeast hotbed, 1977-79 by David Snowden. We did talk about this last week as well, Terry, but you do get quite a few mentions in this book. It was a hotbed. It still is a hotbed of football, isn't it? But in the 70s, not particularly going well for teams in the northeast, but they do look as though they're doing well now in 2025.
Yeah. Well, Middlesbrough's dropped off a little bit. That's just below them. But Sunderland's are having a great season again.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
And Newcastle's got back on the winning formation again. They look a terrific time at times as Newcastle.
Can they get in the top four?
They play some really good football.
Yeah, they do. I like Newcastle.
I was watching them Sunday. They look shocking and then they look terrific.
Yeah.
And they let Forest come back into the game.
Yes.
But they have a team. I think Newcastle's always been people's second favourite team, haven't they?
I think it stems from the fact that when Kevin Keegan had them, they used to play a great brand of football.
Yeah.
And Newcastle have always been like that. A decent cup team, had good players and players that you can relate to. A good team to watch. A little bit like Tottenham, to be fair. Tottenham have always been a side that you like to watch Tottenham, get the ball down and play. I think Newcastle could finish in the top four this season. I'm not convinced any of the others really want to. I mean, I looked at Villa's goals against. Villa have got like -5. I mean, they're worse than Everton defensively. And then you look at Chelsea, they don't look as though they want to.
You wouldn't have thought that, would you?
No, you wouldn't, no.
Because you haven't seen Villa. Oh, I can't remember Villa getting beat many times. No. 5-4.
Yeah. 4 last night, and the way form's terrible.
Well, it baffled you.
Yeah, it does. Football.
They let me down other week against Everton. Against Everton, Palace. And then there will be Aston Villa last night.
Football's mad, isn't it?
Completely mad.
But to be fair, again, they've got the players back. Eze was playing, and Adam Wharton was playing. Adam Wharton run the show. He put a great ball through to Eze, and I'm thinking
somebody's got to buy that Eze.
Oh, I just think he's quality. Again, he's in my England team. He's one of the 60 that we've got in my England squad because I'd have them all there. I think it was great. But a fistful of doldrums, view from the northeast hotbed, 1977-79 by David Snowden. And finally, in book corner, Kendall's Glory in Their Words by Steve Zoek. I think that's how you pronounce Steve's name.
Steve.
You know Steve, don't you? He's a massive Evertonian.
Great fan. Does great for the ex-players.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Terrific man. Terrific.
And again, Kendall's Glory. What a team Everton had in the days of Howard Kendall, didn't they? And you were instrumental in that development too, weren't you?
Yeah, I were. I mean,
they were on the knees when you joined.
Bottom of league, third bottom of league. Absolutely looked shocking.
Yeah.
When I say look shocking of confidence. But when you looked at him in training, Neville Southall, Jim Idle was, Jim Idle was the keeper at the time. Neville going, and that was him. That was him on a regular basis. Then you got John Bailey, Trevor Stevens, and the signed Pat Van Den Houw from Birmingham.
What a player.
They got Billy Wright and Mark Higgins both got injured.
Yeah.
And
we had Billy Wright as well.
Ratcliffe and Mountfield came in. Did terrific. And then you got finished up going to Villa. And then you got Reedy, Paul Bracewell, Sheets, Trevor Stevens, Inchy and Sharpie, and then Andy came in. Trevor were out of team when I went on loan for that period of time because he weren't playing particularly well. He weren't in playing well, but the team weren't playing well. And I think he was going to sell him to Sunderland. Yeah, if I'm honest, I think they paid £300,000 from Burnley for him. It didn't seem to be working out, and then it took off, and what a team they turned out to be.
Again, confidence. Teams play. It always amazes me when I hear he's a confidence player. I don't think there's any player that's ever been able to play the game if he ain't got confidence. Everybody needs confidence, and that's the one thing that ran through that Everton team. It clicked into place.
I'm going to send you a video tonight.
Yeah.
When I finished, I'm going to send you a video from Ian Boyer.
Okay.
He's done a Zoom for my birthday.
Oh, right.
Some of the ex-players who I played with.
Nice.
That's good.
And he said the same thing. When I went to Forest, the confidence I gave them. Because they were having a bit of a bad time when I joined them.
Oh, yeah.
And then we started to take off and I got injured.
Yeah. Burnley.
And then they went 2 months without, not 2 months, a month without winning. I came back, played the 2 games. And then he left me out again. But they got promoted. We got promoted. The luckiest team in that league that year were Bolton.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're flying to Torremolinos when the captain of the aeroplane said, "I'd like to congratulations on Nottingham Forest. Wolves have beat Bolton." Bolton, and that. I think if Bolton had got a draw, I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think Bolton.
Either Bolton had to win or a draw.
Wolves. I think Wolves had to win, and Willie Carr played the free kick over, and Kenny.
They played with 10 men, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, Bobby Gould had to go and goal. Bobby Gould winning goal, but it was an incredible game. And Ian Watmore, who signed for Birmingham, he had a goal disallowed. If that would have gone to VAR, if it had VAR, then Forest may not have got promoted, and the rest didn't happen. It's history. I mean, I said to Kenny, because I've done a few podcasts with Kenny. I said, did Cloughie send you a crate of champagne or something for that goal? And he says no, they never. But it's fine margins, isn't it, in football? And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And that free kick, Kenny'd actually touched the ball and made the ball active, and Willie Carr just went forward and then played the ball over, and Kenny put it in. And as you say, the rest is history.
You talk about fine lines.
Yeah, it is, Marge. Yeah, absolutely.
Alan Brown.
Yeah.
Tries to sell John Robertson to Partick Thistle in part exchange for Ronnie Glavin. What if they'd have sold him?
It's mad, isn't it?
Right? Do Forest go on and win 2 European Cups?
Probably not.
Does Robertson become the player he turned out to be? It just shows you.
If Curran
talked about fine lines.
If Curran hadn't got injured, does Robertson progress like he did? Because in Martin O'Neill's book, Martin does state that it was John that used to do the graveyard shift. He was the one tracking back and all that.
I always worked hard back, regardless what anyone said.
Yeah, but Martin said, you were the king, you were the boy there. Give Curran a ball.
What Ian Boyer said on that tape. But I told you all.
Yeah, I know.
I will Cloughie's pet. I've never been anybody's pet, but I will Cloughie's pet.
I know, loved you, didn't I?
Yeah,
even bought you the car.
Absolutely.
Bought you that car.
I mean, I can remember now going mad when he left me out. I'd been out for 5-6 months, whatever it was. We beat Hereford 1-0 and we drew with Carlisle. And I scored the goal at Hereford. We played Southampton at home and he left me out. And I went ballistic and he said to me, "Listen, you finished with the same injury as me.
Yeah.
All right? You'll be back in. All I'm doing is protecting you." But I couldn't see that as a young kid. You want to play. You look at it now. They won't let you play now. You've got, you've got to prove that you're physically fit in today's modern day football. So when I look at it, I understand it a lot more now than what I did back then. But now I'm 70. Back then, I was 20.
Yeah. Yeah, you're looking at a completely different way, don't you? injuries, so many players these days seem to be getting injured. Is it the travelling? Is it the pitches? It certainly can't be the amount of games that they play. And I did note on social media, Manchester United are going to be touring Asia as soon as the season finishes. So they say...
How stupid is that?
Exactly. We play too many games. We want football to be carbon neutral. Season finishes, we're off to bleeding Asia. It's incredible.
They're giving fortunes for it. That's
they are,
the only reason why they do it.
That's all it is. It's all about money these days. So don't get complaining. You play too many bleeding games.
But they did that back in our day, though, Gab.
Yeah, of course they did.
We were flying all over bloody place, you know.
Yeah, but you weren't moaning about you played too many games, T.
No, we didn't. Because you want to play.
Of course you do, yeah. Cortisone injections, you used to have them, didn't you, to get you on a pitch? How often would you have that? Because, I mean, having that stuck inside you.
I hear them say once too many.
Yeah. How many did you have?
5, 6, I think.
Definitely
5.
In the space of how long, T?
Well, from Sheffield Wednesday, I think I had 3. I had 1 at Everton, 4, and 1 at Grimsby, 5.
So you never had any at Forest?
No.
Well,
what happened at Forest, that's where I did the damage at Forest.
Yeah.
It took me ages to get back, really. I just started to play well at Southampton. I did okay at Derby. You know, I mean, they were about 4th bottom when I left. They were 8th top. And they got some great players in there. But it took me a good 14 months to get over the injury itself. And I started to play well at Southampton, really. And then when I got to Sheffield Wednesday, I think halfway through the second season, I started to feel, and I had my first one then.
Yeah.
I had 3 at Sheffield Wednesday altogether. I think after the first one, it got worse because once it wears off, it's making it's making making my knee feel heavier. You know.
Yeah.
And it was always irritating. Irritating.
No wonder.
I mean, I finished at 30, 31.
Yeah.
And you could say, I played even at Huddersfield. I played a year when I shouldn't have played because my knee were giving me that much stick.
The joys of playing in the 70s too, with all these players that used to play again that'd kick you and pull you and do everything to stop you playing, and the pitches and your injuries and getting you on the pitch because they used to have small squads. We've got to wrap it up in a bit, T. But Super Frank at Coventry, what a job Frank's doing. Can Coventry get into the playoffs?
Game, what did I say?
Absolutely,
Welcome back, Frank.
Yep.
But I'm pleased for him.
Yeah, I'm me.
I'm pleased for him, and he has turned it round. And you know, let's hope that he's got the brain for it, as Frank.
Yeah, he has. Could be a good fit for
him. He's got the brain for it. I don't know why. It's for me. It can only be that they've got frustrated with the players instead of adjusting to the team they've got.
And sometimes, too, it's just not the right fit, is it? I mean, at Everton there and at Chelsea.
By the way, that is
a
true saying that.
And at Coventry, things have fallen into place a little bit like them planets have aligned this week. But everything seems to be lining at Coventry. And finally, the AFCON tournament. Jamie Carragher did say it's not a major tournament. And Jamie's right. It isn't a major tournament, is it? It might be to the Africans, but we don't see the AFCON tournament in the same way as we see the Copa America and the Euros.
No, I mean it is to them.
Yeah, of course it is. Wrong. Of course it is.
Like anything else.
Yeah,
but it's not to us because we. I mean, it's only become more known in this last 20 years, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and that's mainly because of the African players coming over to Europe,
and
playing, isn't it? You know,
and then them showing it a bit more.
Yeah,
right. But it doesn't get the viewing percentages.
Absolutely.
the Copa America would get, or what we get.
100%. So, like, Jamie doesn't have to apologise. He doesn't have to backtrack. He says what he thinks, and I agree with Jamie. It is a big tournament in Africa. It isn't particularly a big tournament in this country.
Why could you say that what he thinks? At the end of the day,
he's been paid to do that.
It doesn't mean that he's right, or it doesn't mean he's wrong.
Exactly.
Somebody's asking his opinion.
Yeah, and he's paid to do that. So fair play to him. TC, we're going to have to leave it there, sir. Thank you for your time. Love to you and yours. We will be doing this every week on Zoom, so we will be able to see each other rather than me just phoning you up from my bedroom, which does sound wrong, but you know what I'm saying.
And it's nice. It's nice to hear Chris as well as you.
Absolutely, and it's great to be able to make the podcast, and we can see the visual aspects of it all, and we can see Chris there right in the middle, like we're two inside forwards.
You can't see me going to do that.
It didn't ours. It's me. It's mine, yours, and Chris's.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic.
It's good
Absolutely.
fun.
And without Chris, nothing happens.
Nothing works.
Because Chris is the one, he's the glue that puts it all together.
I actually make you two
At least
look
I
good.
tried, Gabby.
Yes, I know you do, and I'm absolutely useless.
I know. I make you both look good.
But there you go. Till next week. Love to you and yours.
Working, you can.
Absolutely. And we'll see you next week, T.
See you. Have a great weekend, pair of you and your families. Speak to you later.
And thanks for watching, guys. Cheers, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Cheers, bye.